buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her, and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she drowns herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath three branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argal, she drowns herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man, deliver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is, will he, nil he. He goes, mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death, shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Aye, marry, it is. Crowner's quest law.
Will you hath the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she would not have been buried. Oh, Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest. And the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. There is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none?
What, art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says, Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to!
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tentacles.
I like thy wits well. Faith. The gallows does well, but how does it well? It is well to those that do ill. Now thou dost us to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to dig. To it come.
Who bids stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that, and unyoke.
Marry, now I tell.
To it.
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend his pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. The house he makes lasts till doomsday. Go get thee in, and fetch me a stoup of liquor.
In youth when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract, the time for my behove. Oh, methought there was nothing of meat.
Has this fellow no field of business? Sings a grave making.
Custom hath made it in him a property of easement.
'Tis e'en so, the hand that lives in employment hath the daintiest sense.
But age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land as if I had never been such.
That skull had a tongue in it, and could sing once. How the knave drove it to the ground, and there were Cain's jawbone that did first murder. Might have attained a politician, if this ass now overreaches, one that would circumvent God, might it not? It might, my lord. Or the courtier we could say, good tomorrow, sweet lord. Dost thou know, sweet lord? This might be lord such a one that praised my lord, such a one's horse, and he went to beg, might it not? Aye, my lord. Why even so? And now my lady worms, chafless, and knocked breath of Nazard, with the sexton spade, here's fine revolution, and we had to trick to see it. Now these bones cost no more breeding to play at loggets with them, mine ache to think on it.
A pickaxe and a spade, for and a shrouding sheet. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
There's another. Might not make this be the skill of the skull of a lawyer? May his cooties now knave how to knock him, about the sconce and dirty shovel will not tell him of an action of battery? This fellow might be in time a great buyer of land. With the statutes he recognizes his fine, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines, and the recovery of his recoveries? To have his fine paid full of fine dirt. Will his vouchers vouch him no more of his purchases, and double 1, 2, then the length and breadth of pair of indentures, the very conveniences of his land will scarcely lie in the box, and that the interior himself have no more?
Not a jot more, my lord.
Is that parchment made of sheepskin?
Aye, my lord, and of people's sins.
There are sheep and calves who seek out insurance in that. I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this, sirrah?
Mine, sir!
Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest as meet.
I think it be thine indeed, but thou liest in it.
You lie out on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in it, to be in it and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, and therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none either.
Who is it buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How the absolute knave is! This must speak by the card of equivocation, will undo us by the Lord Horatio. His 3 years have took note of it. The age is grown so thick that the toe of the peasant come near the heel of the courtier. For gals is time. Thou long hast a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell? Every fool can tell that. It was that very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Hey, Mary, why was he sent to England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, 'tis no great matter though.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they said.
How strangely?
Faith, even with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie if here earth he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky horses nowadays that will scarce hold the length, he will last you some 8 year or 9. A tanner will last you 9.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with trade that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore decayer of your whoreson dead body. Here's a skull. Here's a skull, now happen. Here's a skull, now happen you it the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoreson man, mad fellows it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was Sir Yorick's skull.
This?
Even that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Hurrick, I knew him! Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest and most excellent fancy, hath he bore me on his back 1,000 times, and now how embodied in my imagination it is! My gorge rises at it, here hung where lips I have kissed. I know not how oft were be your guides now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment. Now he wont to set the table on the rear, now one now to mock your own driving, quite chaffling. Now get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her painted inch thick with me if she must come. Make her laugh to that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked all this fashion of his earth,
Ain't so.
and smelt so? Ha!
Ain't so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why may not imagination trace the noble dust dust of Alexander, till we find it stopping a bunghole.
But to consider too curiously to consider so.
No faith, not a jolt, but to follow him thither, with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it. And as thus Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returned to dust. The dust is earth, the earth we make loom, and why that loom whereto he imperious Caesar, dead, and turned to clay. Might stop a hole to keep the wind away? Oh that earth which kept the world in awe, which should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. But soft a while, here comes the king, the queen, the courters. Who is this they follow? And with this, such means rights? His doth betoken, and course they follow, in his desperate hand for truth's own life, for the some esteem, have to the while and mark?
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a noble youth, Mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranted. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command oversways the order. She should in ground unsanctified been lodged till the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she is, allowed her virgin krans, her maiden strumens, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
No, no more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her, as to peace-parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be, when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweets to my sweet farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I go thy bride dead, to have decked sweet maid, and not did they strew the grave.
Oh, trouble woe! Fall 10 times trouble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprives thee of. Hold off the earth awhile, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to overtop old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars, and makes them stand like wondered, wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well? I bid thee take thy fingers from thy throat, and for thou art not splendid and rash, yet I have in me something dangerous. Would let thy wisdom fear, hold off thy hand. Pluck them asunder!
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Gentlemen!
Why, I will fight with him upon the theme, until my eyelids no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. Thousand brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up thy sum. What wilt thou do love for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes! For the love of God, forbear him!
Swoons! Show me what thou do. Whoop, weep, will fight, will fast, will tear thyself, will drink about easel, eat a crocodile. I'll do it. Come here to wings. Come here to wings. To outface me with leaping in her grave? And now thou prate of mountains will let them know, a millions of acres on us, till our ground singing his hail, while his burning dome make Asta like a wart? Play against our burning zone, make Asta like a wart? Nay, in thou mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness! And thus a while the fit will work on him, a nun as patient as a female dove. When that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence is still drooping.
Hear you, sir! What is the reason you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will meow, and the dog have his day.
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. His grave shall be a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. till thine impatience our proceeding be.